Right, a very warm welcome back. We're bringing you this live coverage from Nasrec Expo Centre, just south of Johannesburg. This is where the African National Congress, the governing party, has gathered for its 54th National Conference, an elective conference. And the big news for today is going to be perhaps the names of the new leadership that will be taking over. The delegates have been voting for some time now. They started late in the evening and they were going in province by province, and 200 delegates at a time, I'm told. And we're probably now down to the last 4 or 3, and Gauteng is going to be the last one. I believe KwaZulu-Natal is still outstanding as well. And these are very large provinces, so very important votes that are coming through. So we're keeping a watch on that and tracking the progress there. But at the same time, coincidentally, just north of our borders, Zimbabwe is having its national conference at the moment. ZANU-PF is having its national conference. And there's some interesting developments taking place there. We believe that the head of the army, General Chiwenga, who played a key role in the switch and the change in the politics of Zimbabwe there, with Robert Mugabe stepping down, will be holding a press conference later today. So speculation is rife. Does that mean that he'll be the latest army person to enter into the political fray? As speculation is that he might actually become deputy president. So we're watching that space to see, and the SABC has been covering both of these stories, and you'll know that the national chairperson of the ANC, Baleka Mbete, actually took a trip to Zimbabwe to be part of the opening of the conference there. And ZANU-PF also sent Minister Mbengegwi here to have a representation. So we have quite a bit that we want to look at. At the moment, the Professional Business Forum is meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to give you an update of what's happening in there a little bit later on. But let's get back to this space and the one that's unfolding, and that's the delegates that are voting at the moment.
Indeed, that's where we are right now as we come to you live from Nasrec this morning. We've got all the delegates that are here. They are voting. They've been voting overnight, and there's the last 3 provinces as well. That was what we heard a while back. So perhaps one of the provinces has now been finished and we're down to 2. So we're not too sure, and we'll keep you updated as soon as information comes our way. We certainly will be able to get the information to you and report when. But our last update was that we should be getting the results sometime later this afternoon. Maybe I'm speculating at around about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I'm not sure, and the counting should be done by that time, but the voting should be finished by midday. That's what some of the organisers have been saying. Let's just bring our guests into the conversation. Let's see what they're feeling. Our Professor Tinyiko Maluleka is with us here this morning, so let's chat to him, find out how he's feeling ahead of the election results and some of the events that unfolded last night. Prof, good to see you again. What do you think? What do you feel about some of the events that unfolded last night?
Well, I mean, it was for me quite interesting how they took so long to decide to vote for the top 6. I thought a lot of time could have been saved if if the chairperson had been more direct and directed the meeting to say, let's just vote for the top 6 and let's discuss the other things later. I also think that the delegates really want to assert their authority, given that the conference is the highest decision-making body in the ANC, and they've done that in a number of ways. The heckling that happened before, it was mainly a show of force by the delegates. Also refusing the suggestion that the voting must start only today, and saying we want to start as early as possible. Again, the delegates saying to the organizing committee, the steering committee, and the electoral commission that we are in charge of this moment. So I think that was interesting. I hear you saying that you think by lunchtime the voting will be done and that the results will be around 3.
You're not so
I would
optimistic.
You're not
rather,
convinced.
I would rather say we will hear the results sometimes in the evening today.
Evening.
So it's better to say that.
Okay.
Let's not set ourselves up
For disappointment.
for anxiety and stress and disappointment.
Okay.
I think we are likely, but we can take a bet if you want.
No. I don't want to take your money.
No.
Busi Chumombe is the SABC's deputy political editor. Busi, you've been watching this political game for some time. These conferences are not new. What are your reflections? Sometimes as journalists and as media, we create this narrative that the most important conference is going to set the direction of the party and the country going forward. But it does seem that there's something about this one that's quite different from previous ones in terms of consequences and charting a way forward.
Well, Peter, what I'd like to say is that this is one of the conferences that has been compared very closely to 2007 Polokwane conference. I think the Mangaung conference in 2012, the contest between President Zuma and Kgalema Motlanthe at the time was not as closely contested. And now we're seeing, so I think in terms of tensions, interest, anticipation, it is right up there with Polokwane that saw quite a seminal change, that saw a shift in the political direction of our country, the hiving off of some of the members of the ANC to go and form COPE. So I think just in terms of the effect and the impact, there is an idea that perhaps this conference may be going there. And you must understand, Peter, that this happens in a context where the ANC has lost a lot of support. I mean, we saw in 2014, but particularly in 2016 with the local government elections, we saw a whole 8% being siphoned off the ruling party's support. So I think this is a moment where they feel that if they don't make the right decision in terms of the direction that the party is going to take, 2019 it may be a totally different story in terms of the hegemony that the ANC has enjoyed since 1994. So I think that is why it is quite, I don't think it's overstated or exaggerated.
There's a lot at stake, and whoever wins has got a very short period of time to convince voters that the ANC is a new ANC in many ways.
Yeah, certainly. There's not enough time. And whoever wins is inheriting a divided ANC, is inheriting a country whose economy is struggling, is inheriting the problem of what to do with Jacob Zuma between now and 2019, how to navigate and manage that legacy. So I think winning will be good, but it's only the beginning of meeting all of these challenges, including ensuring the real win, because the real win is 2019. And if the ANC doesn't win that one, it doesn't matter who wins today.
Yeah. All right, we're going to pause you for 1 second. We've got our news headline bulletin that we need to cross back to the Johannesburg studio for. We'll continue the discussion about the upcoming results that should be announced sometime today. Nobody betting on anything here. I can't find anybody to take bets with me. No one wants to put their money on who's going to win, what time the results will be out. As you can tell, every minute is one of those unexpected minutes in the history of South Africa. So we're going to wait as well as you. All right, but now it is 8:30, so let's get our latest news.